This painful truth in Nigeria re-echoed with the abduction of 25 schoolgirls on a day meant to celebrate students worldwide. Hence, the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has condemned the incident and said it reopened old wounds left by past school abductions. NANS President Olushola Oladoja stressed that the tragedy underscores the urgent need for preventive security strategies. He insisted that schools must never become playgrounds for terrorists. In a related push for broader security reform, the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, has urged the military to launch a coordinated offensive involving the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force against insurgent strongholds in the Lake Chad region, identifying the Tumbus Island as well as Sambisa and the Mandara Hills as critical hideouts for Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters. Governor Zulum emphasized the need for technology-driven operations, including expanding deployment of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs. Okay, two stories in one. Majid, the abduction of the students in Kebbi State. How did this happen? I mean, is this a failure in intelligence? I mean, how did this happen?
It's rather sad that it's not a failure of intelligence. From reports that we got, the governor actually got an intel, and I mean, according to reports from Premium Times, that the governor got an intel and sent such intel to security operatives, and actually they responded and drafted a contingent to the school. But unfortunately, around midnight, the army team and other security operatives left.
They left?
Yes. And these characters struck at 4 a.m. After, I mean, that's the report we got, and there's been no contrary report to that, to the extent that some policemen, I mean, the regular policemen who were left behind, I mean, suffered, and some local hunters suffered gunshot wounds. The vice principal of the school was killed. The principal also sustained gunshot wounds, while 25 girls were taken away from a wing of the boarding school. So what is rather painful is that, I mean, things like this, we keep saying it, is a failure of intelligence gathering. But in this case, it's not failure of intelligence gathering. The governor actually sent, got an info that such was being planned, and true to type, I mean, we had that the military responded, but I think after staying till 12 midnight, I mean, they could have stayed till the morning. I mean, if these reports were correct, then it means a lot still needs to be done in terms of the resilience of our security operatives, and the need for them to know that, I mean, these characters normally strike around a particular time. They won't come at 12 midnight. There's been a pattern. They strike very close to the morning, Muslim morning prayers, the dawn prayers, which is the Subi prayers, or shortly after. That has been the trend, especially during, I mean, that was the trend in the Chibok girls listing. And now, another point which is quite baffling is the fact that there is a military checkpoint highly fortified with armored personnel carrier 1 kilometer from where this
incident happened.
Yes, and I think very, very close to it. I think Raya, and Raya, where this thing happened. So there was an intel. You took your men there. They left at 12. 1 kilometer away, you could hear gunshots at that time of the day.
But why didn't you respond?
There is no way. I mean, we had enough time before you could move 25 students. It will take at least 1 hour because there was a little resistance from the
police officers
on ground. So 1 hour, I mean, 1 kilometer away is like saying from Eco Atlantic to Eco Hotel. Okay. That's 1 hour. That's 1 kilometer.
Majid said this is not about intelligence. The intelligence was there. It was given. The governor acted rightly. But they left. And now here we are.
You see, I am disappointed that this was allowed to happen. In that same state, the federal government college, bandits overran the school and took away students, especially female students. Some of them, these bandits put in the family way. It cost a lot of money to retrieve those students. Millions, hundreds of millions of naira. And then we allowed this to happen. In Kebbi South, where you have Zulum, some of the biggest generals in the history of our country are from that side. And it is that area that is manifestly unsafe in Kebbi State because they share boundary with Niger State.
Okay.
And Niger State is a place where bandits are running rampant. At least 8 local governments, if not 10, in Niger State suffer in the hands of terrorists, bandits. I like calling them who they are. They are bandits, not terrorists. And they are in need for money. So why? I know that in states like Katsina, boarding facilities have been excluded from the state-run schools because they know these people will come in the night and carry away students. There's a reason they attack students, because they know that it will draw the attention of everyone in the nation, and then we'll be looking for a way to quickly pay ransom, because people will not be happy to see those students in captivity.
Yes.
Women, students, they target them for this reason. When they kidnap bus passengers, it hardly makes news. Nearly every day they kidnap bus passengers. But when they kidnap students, everyone gets involved, everyone gets really interested in the matter. So there was no reason for that school. You see, the mistake, he was talking about the fact that they put some policemen or soldiers there. This was the mistake they made at Chibok. To imagine that if you put even 50 policemen, 50 soldiers in a school, that terrorists cannot overrun it, or bandits. It depends. Like 200, it depends on. Look, what happened in Chibok? It wasn't like we didn't put soldiers there. We shouldn't have allowed the school certificate examination to take place in Chibok. We should have sent them to the state capital. Today in Borno State, they have giant schools, mega schools. Some of them you think they are even Senate buildings of universities in terms of how big they are. Because the hinterland is not safe. So most schools now,
that will accommodate different schools.
Even unity schools located in the areas that were deemed unsafe, they are now in the state capital. That is for a reason. Because we put soldiers in Chibok, in that school, and we thought, okay, they could write their exam there, and they have military cover. Do you know how many people Boko Haram will bring? Okay, Boko Haram goes to a place with hundreds of fighters. you put about 20 or 30 soldiers carrying AK-47. The Boko Haram fighters are coming with the same weapons that your men are carrying. Won't they overrun?
Exactly.
The people who overrun super camps.
That's true. That's true.
So there was no reason for that school, for boarding, knowing that local government is part of the Kebbi South, where banditry had been rampant. Yet we dropped the ball in this way. It's a very shameful thing to hear these kind of things. There was no reason for boarding to exist in any of those schools in that area. What is the point? And in remote places, there's no reason. So it makes me sad knowing what the earlier people went through in the hands of these guys. They got those guests. They put them in the family way. They were writing their school start exam when they stormed their school.
Yeah.
We've not forgotten. Big people in Kebbi State, they contributed money to get those children out. Because these bandits will sometimes ask for as high as 100 million per head. They had to contribute. Big people contributed money to get them out. Now, before we even forget that such a thing happened, you allowed another one to happen. This is pure nonsense. You cannot be sure of the security of children in boarding house, in remote areas, in areas that are infested by bandits. I mean, we need to do things better.
Absolutely.
What is the meaning of this?
Absolutely. Now, the second part of this conversation, Governor Zulum is asking the Chief of Air Staff to, to coordinate major Lake Chad operations. But what specific security threats in the Lake Chad Basin, prompted the governor to call for this?
Last week, we saw the quote-unquote show of force between ISWAP and the remnants of Boko Haram, fighting on the waterways.
Is that no good news?
It's good news, but then it could have been an opportunity for our people to also respond, probably go there and neutralize all of them together.
All of them together.
Yeah. So that's why Zulum is calling, because that Lake Chad Basin is like a fortress for them. That's why he's calling on AVM Kelvin Aneke, the new Air Chief, Chief of Air Staff, who of course, young, dynamic, and it's like a baptism of fire for him, what is happening, and the call from Zulum. But I know he will respond because, he's an officer that trained in the War College in the U.S. and he has a lot of experience and very vast in air command and stuff like that, air operations. So he's a pilot himself and is in operations. So I believe he will respond appropriately, and is an officer who knows his onions. AVM Kevin Aneke. So I'm not in doubt that, he just came in less than 2 weeks, just like the other service chiefs. But it's a wake-up call to them. He has to hit the ground, not running now, flying. Yes, and for the others too, because it is quite embarrassing. Like at a point, Trump is calling us names in terms of our response to terrorists and bandits, and this is happening, especially given the fact that we had an intel. Over the weekend, a brigadier general was murdered, General Uba. We can't afford to have this kind of things happening. He was murdered in Bono, and the other, the Kebbi girls were 25 of them were taken in. So, yes, Zulum must have had an intel, which, I mean, that's why he's calling on the
Chief of Air
the
Staff.
Chief of Air Staff to quickly come, and I trust that AVM Kevin and Nikki will respond, and each should respond in a coordinated attack with the military and the Navy, because the Lake Basin waterways, I mean, we saw what those characters did there over I mean, about 2 weeks ago, and they were celebrating it. So it's an effort that we need to take seriously. We need to rout or decimate these characters. It is very important.
I mean, BK, I don't think the government I think it was even necessary for the government to even call on the Chief of Air Staff, because it's something that should happen.
So it was necessary for him to do that. We've never, I repeat, we've never done enough to send those boys packing from the islands of Lake Chad. That is the fortress of ISWAP. From there, they carry out attacks. Their deadly ambush on Chadian troops was initiated from that area. They killed more than 100 Chadian troops in one day, forcing the president to go into battle.
Yeah.
ISWAP also controls the area called Timbuktu Triangle.
Okay.
It's a fortress. It's a fortress. We've tried to send them packing from the place. So there is a need for the Navy, who are in charge of our territorial waters, to go and send these boys away from the islands of Lake Chad, because that is where, you know, when Boko Haram broke into factions in 2006, August 2016, the Albanawi Mama Noor faction decided to go to the islands of Lake Chad to set up their base there. Their tunnels, their network of tunnels, everything is there. Their highly valued abductees, like Leah Sharibu, that's where they took them to. So we have never, I repeat it, we've never done enough to send them packing from the islands of Lake Chad. And there's a reason they stay there. There's a reason, because of access, not just to weapons, but the money from fishing.
Okay.
Yes. They are not going to allow you to fish.
Oh, they collect taxes.
Of course. Of course. The whole of that area, they don't, they are behaving like they own the country. That's what they are doing. So the Tumbus, you know, Tumbus actually mean islands.
Okay.
So by saying Tumbu Islands is really tautology. So those Tumbus, you see them even, I've been on a reconnaissance mission with the Air Force in the past, and I saw those Tumbus, you know, around the islands of Lake Chad. We moved around, we moved to Sambisa, the whole of that general area. I was able to see them, you know, from the reconnaissance aircraft. I was able to see everything. You know, sometimes you see the terrorists moving, you know, and what we do is we then send the Air Force, we send bombers to go and deal with them. I know that we still have work to do in that place. And when he's talking about coordinated, he's not saying the Air Force can't do it alone. If we want to win that battle, send those idiots out of the islands of Lake Chad. Surface troops, all surface troops will be involved. Okay. The Navy will be involved, and the Air Force. So that you are strafing them, no escape. I've called for this. I know it's expensive to carry out. So perhaps because it's expensive to do these things, we are. But until we make up our minds that enough is enough, and we want to declare a war, a total war against bandits, a war that we are prepared to sustain for months, we will not solve this problem. We will not. I've said it repeatedly.
Yes.
You say, army chiefs sometimes they will say, no, we have to. There's no other way. I'm not a soldier by training, but I've been reading military literature since I was 9 years. Only a sustained, coordinated battle, a real war situation with bandits, the kind of warfare that ensures that they cannot escape through
the tunnels or anything.
No, there are in these states where banditry is rampant, they are linked together.
Okay.
So if you are carrying out an operation in Zamfara, they can move from Zamfara, enter Kaduna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Safi, for example, the local government of my friend Nora Tambea is very close to Kaduna.
Okay.
Zamfara, very close to Katsina. They share border in many places.
Yeah.
All right.
So we have to say, okay, we will not allow you to escape. You block all those exit points. Because what we usually do is when we are attacking them here, sometimes they even get information that we are coming. When we are attacking them here, they run to another place. And we are not prepared for a coordinated, simultaneous operation against them. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
We must kill bandits up to the last man.
Yeah.
That was what they did. That was what Tamil Tigers did in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Those who tell us that, oh, this is we can't defeat terrorists because it is this thing is ideology. Absolute nonsense. In Algeria, the Muslim brother, when they became a full-blown terrorist group, because they were not allowed to take part after winning an election, what did the army do? The army exterminated them. They were beheading journalists. What were they not doing around 1992? But they defeated them. Then if anybody tells you that terrorist groups cannot be defeated because it's ideology, it's a lie. History shows that it's a lie. Tamil Tigers were defeated to the last man.
Yeah. In Nigeria.
So what are we talking about?
All right, gentlemen, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. It's still Journalist Hangout.
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge.